long have you guys lived here?
I'm sorry?
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi, neighbor, sorry.
That video, the jury in this case did not see. That is Lori Vallow at the time, moments after Charles, her husband, was shot and killed by her brother. Giggling, smiling, making a joke, flirting. Unreal. Unreal. Now, they heard a description of it, but they didn't see the actual video. I'm going to show you something else that this jury did not see, which is video of Charles Vallow himself in January of 2019 pleading for some help, knowing that something was wrong with Lori and seemingly indicating that his life was in danger. Take a listen.
She's lost her mind. I don't know how else to say it. We're LDS. She thinks she's a resurrected being and a God, and remember the 144,000. She's come. Jesus is coming next year.
And
she's
two others.
Threatened me, murder me, kill me.
She threatened to murder you?
Yes. And she said,
how did she do that?
My bishop right there is in the car. He was on the phone with me today when she said, "I will have you destroyed." Is what she said there.
Okay, that's not a threat to kill you.
Yesterday was a threat to kill me. The day before.
What did she say yesterday?
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now with my powers."
What's going on? Why is she here and you're not here, or are you staying here with her?
Long story. She's had kind of a break from reality. She thinks you're LDS?
Yes.
She thinks she's married to Moroni in the past. This is her.
You think she's what?
Married to Moroni, the top of the temple.
Angel, LDS, Angel.
They don't let me in
She's
there.
Probation, and she knows when the second coming is happening next year. So does the prophet.
Okay.
He knows it. She knows about it. She meets with Moroni, Jesus Christ, face to face in the temple every day. I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad lately. She's had a break. She says, "I'm Nick Schneider. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles has been killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow. I can do it. I can with my priesthood, with my powers. She does priesthood blessings. She does."
So who's Nick Schneider? Okay.
That's who I'm supposed to be.
Some powerful evidence. Now, she's not being tried for the murder of Charles in this case because that happened in Arizona. That trial's coming up later, but still extremely revealing of everything that's going on inside her mind. Let's bring in our guest. We've got a great panel tonight. In Chicago, Illinois, founder of Victims News Online, former private investigator Erica Morse is with us. In New Brunswick, New Jersey, the two hosts of Surviving the Survivor podcast, Joel and Carmela Wallman, are with us. Great to see you both. In San Antonio, Texas, forensic psychologist John Delatorre is with us. And finally, in Idaho Falls, Idaho, reporter for the East Idaho News, Caitlin Hart is with us. All right, Caitlin, I'll start with you. East Idaho News. This stuff that this jury hasn't seen paints to me, an even more complete picture, because Charles is in it, and he realizes that there is something really wrong with Lori.
It does, for sure, and I've seen these before, and every time it's just as heartbreaking. I mean, you can tell he did everything in his power to try and get some help, but what is the most important part to realize about this is Lori is still charged with Charles's murder in Arizona. So after this trial for Tammy and JJ and Tylee, she still has to go to Arizona and be tried for Charles's murder. So that is something I imagine they will show the jury in that case instead of this one.
John Delatorre, let me ask you about Charles. You know, this is his wife, and he knows there's something terribly wrong, and he's walking around, and almost like his hands are tied, like he can't do anything to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's curious is that what he's describing is what's known as Capgras syndrome. It's when a person believes that someone that they loved, a friend or family member, has been replaced. Now, usually it's with an alien, but I wouldn't be surprised that because Lori has such a devout belief that it was replaced by some darker spirit or dark being or something like that. So at those points, yeah, being the loved one, being the friend, family member, you can absolutely feel just helpless to do anything about it.
Joel and Carmela, this is the tragedy of it all, is that, Charles knows something is wrong. He's talking to police. He's trying to prevent this whole series of events from happening, but he's unable to do so.
Yeah, Vinny, we had Jim Eggleston, a former FBI agent, out of the Phoenix office, and we spoke to him. He's very tight with a lot of members of the Chandler PD. Is there any potential liability here for that police department? There were cries for help from Charles Vallow, and it seems that they went unanswered. And just when you watch that video in retrospect, you see how chilling, in fact, it really was, because he wound up dead not long after. He was obviously nervous about his situation, and at that point, Lori was starting to go off the deep end. So yeah, it is very, very tragic, but hindsight, as they say, is 20/20, and it's a lot easier, to see it now, obviously, than if you were a Chandler police officer back then. But still, Jim Eggleston with the FBI says, look, we've got to go back. The department does, and they have to look at all of these body cam videos again to see what went wrong, if anything.
Yeah, Carmela, one second. Carmela, I want to play something specially for you, okay? Joel, he just answered. Let me play this. This is going to be, because I want you to get into the family dynamics here. You've got Alex Cox, Lori Vallow, and Tylee Ryan all speaking to police after Charles is shot and killed. Let's listen.
Charles was following Lori and yelling, and Tylee told him to get back. She took her bat like that and shoved him, and he took the bat away. And I said, "What are you doing?" And I got between them, and then he hit me, and I just went down. And when I got up, he was still yelling, and so I went into the bedroom where I was staying, grabbed my gun, and I came back. Okay. And told him to put the gun down, or the bat down. And he came to me and was saying, what are you going to do? Like that, and come to me with the bat. I said, put it down. He wouldn't. He came at me, so.
I was kind of turned around, and we were all right there in that room except for the kids had been outside by that time, and I heard the gunshot. Mm-hmm. And
so you heard the shot? Mm-hmm. Did you actually see the shot, or did you just hear it?
I had gone around to the kitchen to get away from him, and so back around. So I don't know if he went in the house.
I didn't, so I'm a little bit of a disadvantage.
Yeah, so I didn't see the shot. I heard it, and then I came back around and I saw that he was on the ground. Okay. And I was freaking out. Yeah. And so I was just freaking out, and it just went into mom mode. I'm like, I've got to go to get JJ to school. I've got to get to the kids. I just felt like I got to get to the kids.
I just kind of stuck the baseball bat out there, and then he just grabbed it and tried to take it. So I held on to the end, and then eventually I fell, and he kind of took it into his hands like he was going to do something with it. And my mom said to go with JJ, and so I ran out the door, and then I kind of just stood there with my little brother. He was in the front seat of the car, and so I just kind of opened the door and just stood there, and he was trying to get out, and I was like, no, we have to stay. I have to stay in. And I was like, I told him, do you want to go in the Jeep? And then he was like, no, and then I realized that my car was blocked in, so I couldn't anyways. I was like, okay, just stay here. And then eventually my mom came out, and then we left from there.
Before we talk about that, take a look. The clock has stopped. Not going to need this tonight, folks. Not going to need this tonight. I can put it away. I'll have it with me tomorrow. The jury apparently has left for the day. So they put in 4 hours of work tonight. Sometimes they just need to sleep on it. So make sure you're watching first thing in the morning. In the meantime, let's get back to our guests. Carmela Waldman. That is not Joel's sister, by the way. That's Joel's mom, believe it or not, folks. So, Carmela, let me ask you. Great to see you. This whole incident, you've got Charles is shot and killed by his brother-in-law, and nothing happens. And if something had happened here, everything else that happened would have been prevented. It's just so tragic.
But what is also very tragic, how clever Lori was, because during this interview with the police, I don't know if I heard it right, but she says she was worried about the children. And that kind of surprised me, because the way she worried about the children is how to get rid of the children. And I was surprised that her husband, her fourth husband, knew that he was even given a new name of a zombie, and he wasn't even considered himself anymore. So the family dynamics are so horrible that you don't even analyze them anymore.
Erica Morse, you know, and I don't know what each side knew, but if the police had put this all together, you know, Charles speaking out about threats to his life and then he ends up shot, if they could have put it all together more quickly. This was in July. It's months before the children are dead. Tammy is dead.
Well, sure. If they could have connected the dots earlier, then people could have been saved. I mean, we could have had 5 people saved. It's frustrating because we had police not communicating with one another. We had police reports kind of all over the place. And unfortunately, when police officers don't dig deep enough and maybe get a little bit cynical, when the reporting victim is a male and they're not taken seriously, that their life is in danger. You know, I have clients that take issue with the fact that police officers are out there practicing law without a license, essentially. Was this preventable? Yes, I firmly believe it does, and I believe there's liability to be looked into here.